You can be in the middle of a talk and feel more alone than if you were sitting in a quiet room with no one else around you at all. Someone is speaking, and you are nodding, and the words land on you, but nothing gets through, and you wonder if they even see you standing right there. That feeling has a name, and it is not shyness, and it is not boredom. It is something closer to being behind glass, while life moves on the other side. You smile at the right times, and you say the right things, and still some part of you is watching from a distance thinking, this is not really contact. There are people who talk at you, and people who talk with you, and the gap between those two things is the size of an entire lonely life. Sometimes the room is full, and the voices are loud, and you are laughing along, and still something in your chest is sitting alone on a bench somewhere quiet. You keep hoping the next word they say will be the one that makes you feel seen, and it almost never is, and you go home feeling hollow. Connection is not the same as contact. You can touch someone every day and never once reach them, and that space between you grows without either of you naming. You have been in that talk where every sentence they say loops back to them, and you realize you are not a person in this exchange. You are just a mirror. So you stop sharing the real things, and you give them the easy version of you, and they seem satisfied. And that satisfaction is somehow the loneliest part of all. You watch someone tell a story, and you notice they never once ask how you are, and you file that away quietly, the way you always do with small losses. Loneliness in a crowd is different from being alone. It has a specific sting, because the thing you need is right there and still completely out of reach. You rehearse what you want to say, and then they pivot, and the moment closes, and you carry that unsaid thing home and set it down next to the others. Some people hear your words, and some people hear you. And most of your life you have been searching for those rare ones who can tell the difference. You are mid-sentence, and their eyes drift, and something in you goes quiet. Not hurt exactly, just tired of trying to matter in spaces that were never built for you. It is a specific kind of lonely, when someone laughs at your joke but misses the thing beneath it. The thing you were actually reaching out with when you said it. You get good at performing presence. You learn how to seem like you are there, and people believe it, and some days you almost believe it yourself, and that is sad. There is a moment in some talks when you realize you could say almost anything, and it would not change what they think of you because they stopped listening long ago. You leave a talk feeling more empty than when you walked in, and you try to name why, and you cannot, and that inability to name it makes it worse. Not every silence is peaceful. Some silences sit between two people who are both talking and both alone at the same time without either one admitting. You find yourself editing yourself smaller so the talk can keep going smoothly. And somewhere in all that editing, you misplace the version of you that actually wanted to connect. The irony is that the people who feel this most are often the ones who listen the best, who ask real questions, who show up fully and still leave empty. You start to wonder if the problem is you, if maybe you need too much, if your bar for real talk is set somewhere. Most people never even think to go. There are nights after easy talks with easy people where you feel a specific grief for the depth you did not get to and the self you did not get to show. You are not too much. You are just in the wrong rooms with the wrong people, and the work is not to need less. It is to find where you belong. Some people will only ever meet the surface version of you, and they will think they know you, and you will let them, because explaining the rest takes more than they have. Real talk is rare. It costs something from both sides. It asks you to risk being seen, and most people are too careful with themselves to pay that price. You already know what it feels like when it does happen. When someone says a thing, and you think, yes, that is exactly it, and you feel less alone for a moment. Hold that feeling because it is real, and it is possible, and the fact that you still want it after all the times it did not happen means something good about you. You are not broken for wanting to be known. You are just human. And somewhere out there is a talk waiting for you, where you will not have to perform at all.